Hello, everybody. It's Monday, November 24th, and this is your Chapo. Joining Felix and I on today's episode is Sarah Squirm. Sarah, welcome back. How's it going?
It's going great. You guys sent me to a weird website to record this podcast, and it was really unsettling for a second, but I think I'm finally getting my bearings.
All right, good.
Well, yeah. Well, we've been meaning to stop using childporn.podcast, but it's like the only software that works.
Right.
We've at least asked them to stop calling it that, and They will not. They really like that name, so. We apologize, but if there were alternatives, we'd be using them.
Right.
But there aren't.
And I just appreciate you guys are using websites. Something that I haven't been on a website in besides YouTube.
What do you watch on YouTube, Sarah?
Well, thanks for actually, when I opened up my computer, a really crazy sound was happening because of a YouTube video I was playing that I forgot about, which was Vangelis scored some brain surgery tapes.
Wait. So this is brain surgery set to the music composed by Vangelis, who did Chariots of Fire and 1492 Conquest of Paradise.
The window is still open. Do you guys want to hear what was playing when I opened my laptop for this?
Play it. And is this? I mean, I assume this wasn't playing in the operating theater while someone's brain was getting worked on. This is just set to Vangelis.
His friend was a microsurgeon who did little microsurgeries on the brain, and he made these instructional surgery tapes and asked Vangelis to score them so that people could study the tapes and not get bored.
I feel like if you get bored studying surgery though, that's maybe not your profession. I've dreamed of being a surgeon my whole life. I can make it through 12 years of medical school, but I'm just gonna give up if there's not music in this. I need to listen to music while I watch this guy do surgery on Stuart Little because he's doing microsurgery.
Felix, what was the video I just saw you post about the 6 actors Robert Duvall hated the most, and the caption was he's a bastard who slept with 1,000 men, a gay bastard.
I have a folder of all my favorite thumbnails that I see on YouTube, and they've been recommending me a lot of videos that have 20 views lately for whatever reason. I think I'm on the algorithm they give you when they want you to commit a mass shooting. I'm not gonna do it, by the way, but I am seeing the videos. And I saw one that was the actors that Robert Duvall hated the most, and the thumbnail was Robert Duvall looking disgusted in an interview, and with the words "gay bastard slept with 100 men" written over the screen.
Who could it be? Marlon Brando, perhaps?
It's so interesting that I've been on this website call for 30 seconds, and Felix has already said child porn and school shooting without taking me out to dinner first. Well,
Sarah, let's get into the news of the week. Big story from Friday and over the weekend that we didn't get a chance to get to was a meeting that took place in the White House between our newly elected mayor here in New York City, Zohran Mamdani, and President Donald Trump.
You guys are the exact people I was curious about what you were going to say about this.
And he has to be wondering, okay, what's Trump going to do to own Zohran? How is he going to assert dominance over him? What sort of embarrassing spectacle will this be? But what we all got was actually sort of seemingly out of nowhere, a giant love fest of Donald Trump kissing Zohran's ass. Basically, I'm just going to read here from the New York Times. It says here, at multiple points during the meeting, Mr. Trump jumped in to defend Mr. Mamdani from pointed questions from reporters. The president patted Mr. Mamdani on the arm when he was asked by a reporter if Mr. Trump was a fascist. Mr. Mamdani smiled awkwardly, and the president advised him to just say yes. That's okay, Mr. Trump said. You can just say yes. That's easier. It's easier than explaining. He was also asked about Republican New York governor's candidate Elise Stefanik, who referred to Mamdani as a jihadist, and Trump said, "That's not him. I mean, the young man I met with is a very rational person," and basically, his supporters don't really know what to make of it. What was it, Sarah? What do you think accounts for Trump's seeming affection and need to ingratiate himself to the newly elected New York mayor?
I think he knows that Zohran has got the fucking sauce and he has X Factor and he's a celebrity and like he just effing loves like alpha rizzy celebs.
I really don't understand how anyone was that surprised by this, because since even before since the nomination, since even 2015, we have seen like people in the Trump sphere and the general like self-professed like anti-establishment, right, try to ingratiate themselves with Bernie, with other like more popular figures who, you know, either outside the Democratic Party or like dissident, you know, perceived dissidents within the Democratic Party. And especially when especially post Trump's first election, when they really started taking a shit in popularity, which was almost instantly the first time and took about 2 months this time, they try to do the same thing. They try to go, well, you know, me and this guy, we also hate Democrats. You can't do that as much with Bernie now that he, you know, spent 5 years acting as Biden's footstool. But the fact that so many people in Democratic leadership just pretended that there was no election in New York, that there was no guy named Zohran, it made it easier in this case. And yeah, it's just, he's extremely popular. And anyone in his position would ingratiate themselves to someone who's up and coming and popular. Like,
Trump is a New York gay guy. And like, Zohran is this little like, he's what's popping in New York right now.
Yeah, I think it's like, to Felix's point, I think he saw the entire leadership of the Democratic Party try to sink this guy and fail. And Zohran won, so he's like, oh, I'll have some of that. And I think it's just like the classic psychology, Sarah, you're right. He likes and believes in celebrity, probably to the exclusion of everything else. But I think if it's like a certain high school mentality where like, if a kid from another clique is popular, right, and then that kid is nice to you, right, you can be nice to him even if they're from opposite cliques, right? Because it's like them being nice to you is a reflection on your popularity. Whereas with Schumer and Jeffries, he's aware that everybody hates them, so he can treat them like shit. So when you bully an unpopular kid, that is once again reaffirming your status as popular and cool.
Right. So like Trump is a jock and like Zohran is like a prep. But they're like the alpha dogs in the jock and prep school.
Exactly. But like, however, though, like that was my first reading of what accounted for this love fest and Trump, like, you know, beaming at Zohran, just looking it up and giving a big toothy grin, loving every second of it. There's a few other like I don't know, like sort of perhaps different like lenses through which to view this interaction. And I think another one that's very simple, that's easy to understand, and I think could go a long way to explaining this. I think Donald Trump just likes a handsome young man in a nice suit, you know, and Zohran's pretty tall too. Like I think he's about 6 feet tall. So like, you know, guy of, you know, a stature, nice suit, nice smile, clean cut young man. I think Trump sees that, and it sort of, because like you have to compare Zohran is probably the most physically handsome person that's been in that Oval Office in like since Donald Trump was there. I mean, like, think of the collection of bozos, rubes, and uggos who are normally filing in and out of that fucking the new gold Oval Office, whatever that, you know. So like, I think when he sees a handsome young man in a suit, he's just like, oh, lovely. He's a wonderful guy. I don't think he's a jihadist. I keep saying he says I'm a fascist. I guess I am.
Right. Like if Peoria, Illinois elected a Shining Path mayor, but he looked like the guy who plays Reacher, he would be invited to the White House before who's that like gross little golem they made to replace Charlie Kirk? Bryland Holland?
Braylon Hollyhand?
Bryland, and I'm not saying Bryland Holland's an uggo, okay? I'm not saying that. But he's not turning heads, is he? I don't even remember his name.
It's a pretty funny name, too.
He likes shiny things. Like, he has a shining 1,000-watt smile. He likes a shiny golden toilet. Like, he likes when things are shiny.
The only, like, kind of novel theory I've seen on this, because I do think, like, if I had to attribute it like mostly to one thing, it would be that they're still trying to recapture that like 2016 campaign magic of some sort of like loosely assembled, broadly anti-establishment front between left and right that is just like, I cannot believe people still think that is like a fucking possibility in this country. Yeah. And I especially can't believe it with after he's been elected twice, and the only thing he did the first time was like attempt to do severe austerity to some success, and this time just the most crippling austerity regime we have ever seen in our fucking lifetimes. But I did see one novel theory that was he's old, he's like just they're giving him, what's that drug that makes you super suggestible? Sodium pentothal all the time. And he's being controlled by like Peter Thiel sex slaves and assorted goy slaves. And he's just old and confused and angry. And he knows that he doesn't have the same degree of control as he did in Trump 1. So he's like lashing out at Vance and all the Thiel people by going, you know that guy who you said you're going to deport? We're going to have a handsome party in my office. And I loved Vance trying to act like, this is part of the plan to make Zohran look stupid. Someone said it was like that famous post where this girl's going, I got my pussy ate with ice cubes for the first time this weekend. And this guy replies, I know he had you screaming. But that's what Vance's reply was like.
Well, it's like, I mean, to take the Vance point of view here, like this is a sort of thinking 5 moves ahead in chess strategy to like gas him up and give him a big political win to make his downfall all the more satisfying.
That's so fun. I mean, I don't know what he didn't say that. Some people have said it was rope-a-dope, which like presumably they mean like they're gonna big up Zohran, and then like in Zohran's first day, he's gonna do so bad that it's just total anarchy. It's Escape from New York, and then they'll go, see. But I don't get that, because it's like Trump was talking about how good his policies were and how much he liked them. Like, how would that work?
He also said, I would have no problem living in New York City under Zohran, because he was like, we both want New York City to be great. I think it'll be very nice. And also, he went out of his way to shit all over Eric Adams, a guy who's done everything to placate, and I think once again, it's the psychology of a dog. Like if someone shows you their belly, then you can't have any respect for him. Like Eric Adams, who was like basically had to get Trump to keep out of jail, was to kiss his ass and prostrate himself before the White House. But he obviously has no respect for that. And then Zohran comes in and got elected, directly challenging Donald Trump, and now he's just like, oh, this guy, he's cool. I like him. This kid, he's got respect. He's got, this kid. I like this kid.
His comment about no, it's okay, you can call me a fascist.
Yeah,
reminded me of on Thanksgiving when my ex-cop PI uncles are this patchouli hippie kid over here. I get it. You think I'm a pig, whatever, whatever. But it's there's obviously such love, familial love there. And it's almost like Trump has this dude, we're from fucking New York. We're walking here. There is a love there. He has deep love for him.
I think it would be cool if Hakeem Jeffries, who he's been the biggest holdout from the Democratic establishment, just no selling Zohran, especially considering that he's a New York representative. If he started attacking, so if he started calling Zohran a social fascist, and he was see, what have I always said about social democrats?
Yeah.
Going back to the Vance thing, that made me think that this might be Trump lashing out more than anything, because I mean, I don't know, who knows for sure, but Peter Thiel he didn't want to dump any more money into politics after Vance barely got through the primary that one time, and he ended up just dumping money onto Trump in 2024 and linking him to other donors. And so I've always just assumed that that was part of the deal, and that Trump is just he just does not get this Vance thing. But the only other thing is like I've seen people Kamala 2024 dead enders saying like, oh, you think this is cool, but you thought it sucked when fucking Kamala campaigned with Liz Cheney. And it's like, Donald Trump's the fucking president. It's like if Donald Trump was like a private citizen and Zohran like went to his house and was like, see, yeah, that would be one thing. But like, I do not understand how the two things are comparable besides both of them being right-wing politicians. I mean, one also clearly did not work, seeing as Donald Trump is president.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, Kamala Harris, touting an endorsement from the Cheney family to no avail, to absolutely brought her negative votes to her campaign, versus, Zohran, who's like the hot thing right now. He comes in, goes to the White House and gets the president to fucking kiss his ass for a half an hour on national television. Seems to be like a little bit more of a dub than Kamala, palling around with the Cheney family. But
yeah.
I know, but like one more thing, you're talking about JD Vance, and I think like Donald Trump, it's like people they follow certain set psychological patterns in their life, and I think he's victimizing himself again by having another chinless idiot son with a beard who like he doesn't really like, but is always around him and always trying to like gain his approval to no avail whatsoever. Because like Donald Trump Jr. has a beard. J.D. Vance has a beard. Right. Zohran Mamdani has a beard. But the thing is, Donald Trump Jr. and J.D. Vance are constantly begging for the attention and approval of Donald Trump, which obviously he has no respect for. So I think, once again,
it goes with your theory that if you're a cutie pie, like J.D. Vance, no disrespect, looks like a human Funko Pop. So Trump's not necessarily heart eyes, He's not easy on the eyes.
No. This is also of a piece with Trump's comments about a recent meeting with President Xi of China, where he said all of Xi's advisors are terrified to speak in front of him, and that's how we should run our government, which I can't do because JD is always butting in. He's always speaking up in meetings. But there is one final sort of heuristic to view the. Do
you think there's like a Chinese hillbilly elegy?
What do
like
they call
Ping's son will write it. We really like all of us rural folk. We really should be like going to the cities to study Xi Jinping thought, but all we do is just spend all our money on barbecue.
Yeah, everyone I grew up with in the rural provinces is stuck where they are, getting fucked up on like 100-proof sorghum liquor and inventing new ways of drinking beer.
Yeah.
But no, I have one last sort of like lens through which to view the Trump Mamdani meeting, and this comes courtesy of Spencer, who I initially viewed this through like high school, right? About like popular kids. But Spencer has a very interesting theory that involves around the workplace. And his theory is basically that with, a lot of the things that are going on right now, the Epstein emails, the war in Ukraine not really going all that well, possibly a war in Venezuela, the jobs and economy really don't seem to be doing. In fact, the jobs report in the economy is so bad right now, they've just stopped issuing any new data for like Q3 of this year. Like they've simply just canceled like reporting on unemployment and economic growth. So like things
that's
things
not
are
always
not,
a bad sign.
It could be, yeah, that's true.
Maybe they were busy.
So like if you think about it, like the White House is a workplace and Donald Trump is the head of that workplace, but he's very depressed. And everyone who works around him is also very depressed. Then let's say a new guy comes into the workplace and doesn't really know the inter-office politics or dynamics. So that when like he's sort of cheerful and seems energetic and ready to, sort of get the work done. And then when the boss like starts talking to you about their personal life or maybe asks you to get a drink with them and you're like, sure, yeah, I'll get a drink with you this Saturday or whatever. And then they attach themselves to you and suck all of the life force out of you. And then no one else who works in the office had the ability to tell you, do not agree to do anything with this person. You'll never get rid of them. So I can see that dynamic being at play here as well.
I think there's something to that because, like, yeah, if I had to guess what the atmosphere in the White House is like, it's probably like, you know, a financially spiraling and failing bar and grill. Like at this point,
someone John Taffer would yell at.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's no one.
Like, it's like the bar and grills or the owner are either an alcoholic, horn dog, or they're like trying to pass off their failing business as like the birthright of their equally fail children.
Right. How many times can you like make an edit where like Goku is deporting someone? At a certain point, you just like have to face facts that this is Brandon V2 and that you're Brandon.
I thought the vibe was like they were all like methed out and like hyped up on stuff. But they're like, it's more goth, it's more emo, you're saying? Do you think the vibes are emo at the White House?
I mean, I think they're probably flying on all kind of cocktail of uppers and downers, but like the crash does come eventually, you know? You know, you've been up for 72 hours, making crying immigrant mothers into Studio Ghibli animations with Grok, and then eventually you're going to need to. You're just going to crash. You're going to run out of Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, Trump 1 was more of like a Dr. Feelgood administration because they had my favorite guy ever, Ronnie Jackson, was there, and he was. I mean, they probably got the idea to give Biden speedballs from Ronnie Jackson. That's probably what he was giving Trump. That's probably what Trump was on when he was like, I love everyone who is a Charlottesville. I mean, everyone.
And guys, seriously, hurt people. So have we ever thought that maybe the White House, all the guys in it are hurting?
I mean, I think they are. I mean, I think they're in a great deal of spiritual and emotional pain. And I don't want to contribute to that. I don't want to make it worse by being mean to them, because they're dealing with a lot of pressure right now, and you know it's just not working. It's just not working out great for them, and I wish them the best. Really, I really do. But Sarah, like this next story, look, on the show and even on today's show, we've been fairly hard on President Donald Trump. You know, maybe even said some hurtful things about him and his family.
And Sarah, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
And you know, I've been highly critical of his policies like invading Venezuela or ethnically cleansing the United States of all immigrants. But just to show, you know, that I'm not just like a robot. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. When the president does something that I think deserves praise, and he promotes a policy that I myself can laud as virtuous, I'm not afraid to say it. And that's where I'm going with this next story. This comes courtesy of Semaphore, and I'm just going to start reading this story here, and you'll get where it's going. But this is in Semaphore. The headline is How Trump is Trying to Remake American Culture, Starting with Rush Hour.
I think that's all you need to say.
Yeah, that's all you need to say. But it says, President Donald Trump has strong views about news media and an interest in asserting them. He's long claimed credit for ending the careers of journalists and comedians. CNN staff now worry that if their company is sold to Paramount, his friend Larry Ellison may fire two of the network's most prominent women, Erin Burnett and Brianna Keilar. Somewhat less attention, however, has been paid to the ways in which Trump wants to shape popular culture outside news and late-night comedy. The one-time wannabe Broadway producer brought his particular style of late 20th century over-the-top macho taste to political events, elevating professional wrestling to the Republican National Convention and inviting the
That's the worst thing he's ever done. I'll never forgive him for that.
I know, because prior to that, I found professional wrestling to be surprisingly leftist, and you know, in its politics.
No, this is going to be one of those generational things. Like whenever like people under 20 aren't going to believe us when we're like, professional wrestling was actually the most leftist sport up until Donald Trump's reelection.
So yes, he elevated professional wrestling to the Republican National Convention and inviting the 1980s icons Sylvester Stallone and Mike Tyson to the White House. Entertainment studios have thrown the Trumps an occasional bone. Amazon paid $40 million for Brett Ratner's documentary about Melania Trump. It presumably saw...
Oh my God!
Yes.
Brett Ratner! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Amazon, I've asked you for way less.
Some guys just really want to work. God. Brett Ratner, when Trump won again, he was probably like, yes! it's mourning in America for rapists, and then it's still he's just relegating to doing like Melania documentaries.
Well, I mean, Brett Ratner is an interesting name because you'll see where this is going here. But it says Brett Ratner, of course, the director of the Rush Hour movies. So it says here, but beyond his off-again relationship with the Murdochs, Trump's preferences have largely been ignored by the entertainment industry titans who made him a household name. He has been forced to deliver his cultural preferences through online rants about celebrities and programming for political events at the White House, where he commandeered the presidential aux cord. But now Larry Ellison, one of Trump's most prominent financial supporters, owns a second-tier studio, Paramount, and is on the cusp of taking control of the great Warner legacy with the giant library and sprawling production that come with it. The film producer Dalius Sanier predicts a wave of classically male-driven movies with mentally tough, traditional, courageous, confident heroes, maybe even a tad cocky, but dedicated to honor and duty. Plus, of course, a few explosions, gun battles, helicopters, fistfights, and car chases. Now the president is offering some creative input on potential upcoming projects. Trump appears to want to revive the raucous comedies and action movies of the late 80s to the late 1990s. He's passionate, for instance, about the 1998 Jean-Claude Van Damme sports flick, Bloodsport.
Oh!
This is a film I, too, am passionate about. And I remember years ago when Trump was running for president the first time, we'd have to go back like to year one of the show. But I remember there was a news story about him on a private jet with Don Jr. watching Bloodsport on his airplane and fast forwarding through any part that wasn't a fight, which is like, I mean, there's not much of that movie that isn't at the Kumite. But I like that, like the of what bare bones plot exists in Bloodsport was too much for Donald Trump's attention span. And he just wanted to get back to the Kumite.
I wonder if he likes Snake Plissken.
Oh, now, Mr. President, now you're speaking my language. They said Zohran would make New York into Escape from New York, but I don't think that's so bad because we can have Snake Plissken, folks. He's got an eye patch. They call him Snake.
Folks, I'm all out of bubblegum, folks.
But it says here, a person directly familiar with the conversations told Semaphore that the President of the United States has personally pressed the Paramount owner to revive another franchise from Ratner, Rush Hour, a buddy cop comedy starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker that blended physical comedy, martial arts, and gags about racial stereotypes. That is a very good description of the Rush Hour movies. But like, okay, this is where it gets strange here because it's like, I can understand why the president likes the Rush Hour movies. I like at least Rush Hour 1 and 2, Rush Hour 3, maybe not so much. But this first Rush Hour, that's a 90s classic. But then you got to wonder, at a time when he is really hard up against the wall with this Epstein shit, is he going to revive a movie directed by Brett Ratner and starring Chris fucking Tucker, who was on Epstein's fucking plane with Kevin Spacey?
Is there any theory crafting on like Chris Tucker being, an instrumental part of the Ring? Because I don't think anyone's accused him of that.
No, it's just a funny connection.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he gave them the idea. Who knows? But I don't know. What can he do to like make this happen? To like make them give Brett Ratner a career again? Well,
I mean, like literally just tell Larry Ellison make another Rush Hour movie, and he'll get the fucking Paramount or Warner Brothers on it when he buys it.
I guess, but like Rush Hour came out like 57 years ago.
It was right after World War II ended.
Yeah, most of the people who remember it are dead or dying, or
this
like
is an
otherwise
audience of
not.
one, though. This is just to please the president.
Yeah, but like he's not gonna remember this in like a week. Like Larry Ellison's gonna be like, "Look, I did it. I made Rush Hour with Bowen Yang and Childish Gambino." And Donald Trump's gonna be like, "What? Who the fuck asked you to do that?"
Wait a second. The fact that Donald Trump is a huge fan of the Rush Hour movies, this adds yet another veil to the Trump Mamdani meeting. I think he sees in Mamdani the combination of Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. He's both guys from Rush Hour. Because, born in Africa, Asian family, he's got the East meets West thing going on, and he's got Riz like Jackie and Chris.
Right. I'm just like, I can't like pin down his tastes because he's like no offense, guys, I have to tell you this. Listen, Rush Hour movies, that's guy stuff. I wish I could meet you guys where you're at and be like, LOL, my favorite scene was when the car was going fast. I
don't feel that strongly about them. I gotta tell you.
I don't feel that strongly about the Rush Hour movies. They're fun. I mean, I like all the physical comedy and racial stereotypes. You know, it's just like 90 minutes of like black guys are like this and Chinese guys are like that. You know, it's got Jackie Chan. You're laughing.
I'm just surprised, like, Trump I thought he liked, like, seeing beautiful women walking around in beautiful gowns.
No, he likes seeing oiled up muscle men do splits like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Going back to Semaphore here, it says, Ratner's 1998 film, that was 50 years ago. Now, Ratner's
the Soviet Union was still around.
1998 film was a breakout hit, but the film series seemed to run out of steam by 2007 with the third installment, which performed respectively at the box office, but didn't satisfy Hollywood tastemakers. Then the franchise languished for a decade. In 2017, Warner cut ties with Ratner after sexual misconduct allegations. Warner allowed the franchise to be licensed to other studios, but Ratner's involvement was reportedly a non-starter for several potential takers, including Paramount. But among those who have embraced anti-woke politics, cancellation is almost a credential, and Ratner has revived his career at the highest level. By doing a fucking Melania Trump documentary for Amazon that like 10 people are gonna watch?
Yeah,
this guy was an A-list director at one point.
It's Brett Ratner mania. You can't go anywhere without people talking about Brett Ratner nowadays.
What did he do?
He did Money Talks with Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen. He did the Rush Hour movies. He did Red Dragon, the remake of Manhunter with Ralph Fiennes and Edward Norton.
And then he touched upon people.
He was like one of the Me Too's where it was not like an Aziz Ansari thing where like no one like read the article. Like not enough happened to finish the article. He was like, you could always tell that he was like an evil man because he did the thing that all evil people do in Hollywood, which is he played himself on Entourage, but like as a good person. Like he was like, that's whenever it's not totally foolproof because some people who do portray themselves as assholes on Entourage are also assholes, but no one who portrays himself as a good person on Entourage is a good person. That's never happened.
There's a line of dialogue where Turtle says to Johnny Drama, that Brett Ratner's a good guy. He's got no allegations.
Yeah. If I was making a list of the 100 top Jewish rapists in Hollywood, he ain't even going to be on it. I don't know why that was in the show. It's a really weird line.
This is interesting, though. Chris reminds me that the last time a U.S. president directly instructed someone to make a movie that got made for them was in a year before his assassination. JFK told John Frankenheimer that he had to make a movie based on the book 7 Days in May, which of course became the movie 7 Days in May with Burt Lancaster.
And that's actually that's actually the movie where the quote "Don't ever play with a black man's radio" comes from. So Rush Hour took it from 7 Days in May.
Didn't Trump get rid of the White House movie theater? It's like he doesn't even care about movies. He watches movies on his phone on the toilet.
Yeah, I think they got rid of the White House bowling alley and the White House movie theater to make room for that awful gaudy ballroom that he's building.
Okay, but who was using the White House bowling alley? That like
Richard Nixon.
That is like the type of loser thing that like Carter would be into. Oh, I'm gonna bowl with Brezhnev. Fuck you. I'm glad you're dead.
Sarah, if you got invited to the White House, come on, you'd want to see the bowling alley, right? You'd want to go bowling.
I'd be there tomorrow. And of the White House bowling alley, I just picture being very like boop boopy doop kind of coded, like girls at the soda
like with poodle skirts and like Buddy Holly playing on a jukebox.
Yeah, I thought Trump would like that kind of crap. Girls in ponytails going shoo bop shoo ah.
Does the White House have a swimming pool?
It would be weird if it didn't, but I've actually never heard anyone.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, like there are no. Yeah, Is there even a White House hot tub?
Ooh,
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Oh wait, okay. Apparently there is a White House swimming pool.
No one ever used. Well, I mean, that is the thing about having presidents that are 98 years old. Like, no one is ever using this shit.
When I was a lifeguard, I was a lifeguard in high school, and when someone shit in the pool, we would have to like clear out the pool for 45 minutes. They would have to be clearing that pool.
wait, sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah. Biden made that pool look like a melted Frappuccino. Could you imagine? Just throw it out after that.
The White House does have a pool, but basically they've been using it as a bathroom for the last 3 administrations.
You ever hear those stories from the Middle Ages where like they're having some big like conference and it's over like the feces pits for the entire city?
The Erfurt latrine disaster.
Yeah. That's what the pool was like after the first and only Biden term.
I feel like the White House just stinks like poop. Just like Trump loading up that dump truck diaper. Just all of them, just like Rhea running down the legs of those men's warehouse pants.
I have thought about that a lot. It's like, think about like even Donald Trump, like not in his prime, but just like before he was elderly, like him getting up and shitting. He probably has to like wake up 5 hours earlier than anyone else. He has to probably dedicate like the first 5 hours of his day to just like moving some like ultra dense block of shit out of his asshole. And it's gotta feel horrible.
Just like a rectangular hamburger shit.
Yeah, like could you imagine? Like it has to be like sheer pain.
Okay, we're talking about the Middle Ages shit and the White House pool. You're gonna love this. This was just sent along by our intrepid research staff. The White House pool was often used by Barbara Bush. And It says here, in 1990, a rat swam past her and was subsequently drowned by her husband, 41st President George H.W. Bush. Barbara Bush said that she swam with a mask and it just went right by in front of me. Fortunately, George Bush was there and he drowned the beast. It was horrible.
Jesus.
Drowning a rat? He's just like, you just grab it and hold it underwater as it thrashes violently. You could get bit. I would just, let the rat be, or just, fish it out one of the, the pool drain scoops.
They gotta add it. What's that book about the Bushes where it's like, Poppy in the helicopter? They got to do an epilogue about the rat.
Rats are also like one of those animals where like they become 20 times grosser when dead. It doesn't matter if it was instantly killed or not. Like if there's 1 second between death and like a dead rat, infinitely grosser than a live one. Infinitely. He made that pool 1 billion times grosser.
Wow, George H.W. Bush killing a rat in the White House swimming pool with his bare hands.
Also, like, if you're the president, you could just be like, hey, can someone get this?
Wasn't Dan Bongino a Secret Service agent? Do you think you could ask him to shoot the rat, maybe?
Not if, like, he would end up hitting Barbara. I never got the sense that Bongino was, like, a very good Secret Service agent. Like, if a Secret Service agent is like, hey, guys, I've left the Secret Service at age 42 for no reason at all, and my new career is writing books about how good I was at it, it's like, you were probably the worst guy on the team. You were probably fucking terrible. I just think that was like their foreplay for the Bushes. For George to kill
strangling
something.
a rat. Yeah. I learned this at Skull and Bones.
I wonder. It's sort of like with Tony Soprano, where Tony Soprano is involved in and orders the death of dozens of people, but we only see like him personally only 7 on-screen kills. How many like on-screen kills do you think HW had in his life?
Ooh.
And we're counting World War II.
Oh.
A lot. A lot.
Well, but I like him personally, his own bare hands.
Oh, his own bare hands.
or not or bare hands or with a weapon, but like him doing it personally. Not.
Well, I mean, he flew
someone.
like 80 combat missions in the Pacific, so like that's like,
right.
I mean, who knows how many is chalked up in that, but you know,
I think like he would live to what, like 98? I think like a couple dozen, right?
But
unlike Tony Soprano might have been a killer of men, but was a lover of creatures and animals.
That's true. Yeah,
that is true.
Not rats though. I don't think Tony would have any affection for rats.
But he wouldn't
touch a rat with his bare hand.
Yeah.
That's animale. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah, wait. I have a question. Go back to your lifeguard experience. You said when someone shit in the pool, you cleared out the pool for 45 minutes, presumably to fish the feces out of the pool. But then, like, there are still fecal particulates just in the chlorine. Like, does the chlorine take care of that? Why 45 minutes? And you're like, everyone back in the pool. The poop's gone.
What's so interesting? It's like, as soon as I said it, I was like, that can't be right.
It's like when you flush the toilet, the poop goes down the toilet, and then the water is back up, and you're like, clean water. I'll just wash my face in that.
I feel like we would like put a bunch of chemicals in the pool. We would scoop. Definitely, I remember scooping the turds out with the net, and then we would like bomb the pool with a bunch of chemicals, and then that's why the pool would be cleared. But you're bringing up an interesting point that public pools should be able to be flushed like a toilet.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah,
that is like a Louis Pasteur type thing where it's like we're idiots for not having that. Because like do you remember like I did swimming, like using public swimming pools or just swimming pools that you don't personally own? That is one of those things that like you only do at the beginning and end of your life. And like my biggest memory of being a little kid who was constantly using swimming pools was like being ushered out so old people could swim. But when you really think about it, it's like the two most incontinent demographics are spending all their time in those things. And they don't change the water when like normal adults who have control over their bowels use them.
Yeah, it's quite a soup in most swimming pools, but you know, I just try not to think about it. You know, sir, as we were talking about this, I swear to God, earlier today, the thought crossed my mind. I think I was probably thinking about the president and his diapers and like, you know, just the grim spectacle of aging and what we all have to look forward to. But like, open question here: does any of you remember the last time they shit their pants? Because I do.
Of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I remember the first and last.
Because the last time I did it, a vivid memory for me. I think I was about like 8, 9, maybe 10 years old. No, but younger than that because I had Scooby-Doo underoos on, so I was probably pretty young. And I shit my pants at the Javits Center at the New York City car show.
Wow. You could have gotten any of those cars.
Not only have I done it recently, it's happened to me a lot of times in recent years. And it's always the same thing. Like I'll have like the flu or like a stomach virus or something and be sick for like a week. And then I'll like very tentatively decide it's like okay to work out again. And then always during like a front or back squat, like going deep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's never, like, thank God, it's never been so bad that it's, like, run down my leg. I've been wearing, like, track pants and not shorts both times recently, thank God. But
the only reason it didn't run down your leg was because your ankles were gathered.
Well, I mean, it did, I think it did, no one could tell it ran down my legs, but it was, like, it did, like, feel bad. Like, obviously you feel bad shitting your pants no matter what. But it felt bad because it was like, okay, I'm leaving the weight room for like 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how much shit I have to clean off my ankles. And then coming back with like completely different clothes. Like, what do you think happened?
You got your period.
Yeah.
Think.
No, yeah, that is, I haven't had it happen to me in any other way. I have not just been like doing my taxes and then whoops. It's always like brought on by physical activity. But it's I don't know. I think everyone should do it. I think it keeps you humble.
Yeah.
The last time I shit my pants was in my home.
Well, that's if you're gonna do it, that's the place for it to occur.
Yeah. That like barely counts.
I don't think that even counts, Sarah. I don't think that even counts.
You're right, but I was so like, I was embarrassed. It's so rare for me to be embarrassed in front of myself. Like, I had COVID. My boyfriend was taking a shower. I was like, I have to shit, but he's taking a shower. I'm not rude. And then I just shit my pants.
But I think like having an illness is like both of these times it was like, you know, some horrible stomach ailment. Like COVID, your stomach can get really fucked up from COVID. It's not, if you're having an illness like that, I don't think it's that, like if you got migraines and then shit yourself, like, okay, yeah, that's hard to defend. But I don't think you have too much to be embarrassed about there.
Thank you guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Seriously.
I mean, it was in your own home, and you only did it out of you know, politeness to someone who was taking a shower.
And you have to laugh.
But like at this, you know, but as soon as you do it though, you have to like duck walk into the bathroom and then just get in the shower. Just be like, sorry, I take precedence.
Yeah. One of my tree
Got
of
a
life
backdraft
memories.
blast the skid. Trademark West you.
One of my tree of life memories is being like 3 or 4 years old, and like I was with my dad and we were riding the L in Chicago. It was like my first time riding the L, and I don't remember the actual process of shitting my pants, but I do remember like knowing that there was shit in my pants, and I was like, okay, I just have to sit normally because other people on this train are probably having this problem and they're probably not bothering their dads about it. So I'll just play it cool like everyone else is.
Hey, Felix, would you say you were riding the brown line that day?
Oh.
Is there any way for me to find out if I was? Because that is one of the, you know,
It's one of the trains.
One of the famous trains of Chicago L. It's the Brown Line.
And I shit my pants, New York locals, at a PC Richards when I was a child.
That's very good.
That's
were you there to get like an air conditioner or something?
That would have really stressed me out if I was a kid.
Okay, but did they do the little PC Richards whistle right when you shit yourself? It was like doo 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 doo, like they do at Yankee Stadium. Yeah. All right, I got one last story for us today, and this involves the sort of the genesis of what we're calling a right wing or a conservative Jussie Smollett. So this is a hate crime hoax. But the thing is, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't say like this is a new or novel thing, because this kind of shit happens a lot. Like, does anyone remember the girl who carved a backwards B into her face right before Obama got elected?
I love that girl. She did such a bad job.
Yeah, so bad.
She was so awesome.
And then like the blacks rule graffiti, that's another really good one. You know, most of the
You got to admit though that worked. Like no one blacks rule graffiti
Blacks
stopped
rule.
after that. They were just trying to raise awareness.
Well, okay, like if you remember, there was a girl, I think she was from Pittsburgh, and she was like working for the Republican campaign, and she like staged a hate crime attack on her, of which she like sort of wrote a B for Barack on her face, or sort of scratched it into her face, but she did it backwards, clearly looking in a mirror.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay,
No.
well, the story I'm going to talk about now shows, I won't say like it's not a new thing, but it shows an evolution in the sort of, I don't know, the care and preparation which one puts into faking a hate crime. So this here is this happened in New Jersey, and it says here, a 26-year-old Ocean City woman who claimed she was brutally assaulted because she worked for Representative Jeff Van Drew, Republican, Ocean City. I mean, I'm so sick of the hate crimes against Jeff Van Drew staffers. If there's one person in America who's like hated more than anyone right now, it's Jeff Van Drew. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Speaking of hated politicians, I didn't even get to the story about Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning.
Oh,
She said, I'm out. She just dropped the thing on Friday and said, I'm out of here in January. Bye. It's been real. I hope you have a good summer. But, like, that story is pretty wild to me because, like, look, You can say a lot of things about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we have on this show. But like, there's something about me that kind of has to respect her for being like, I'm a QAnon-believing lunatic who ran for Congress and got elected because I wanted to like, root out all of the cabal of evil pedophiles running our government. And then she gets elected on that campaign, gets into power in Washington, D.C., and realizes that the elite cabal of pedophiles is like her team. And then she's like, all right, I'm out. It's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
it did show like integrity.
Yeah.
Like,
she's true to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She literally, in her resignation letter, she said there's no secret plan to save the world, which is a Q thing. I've seen like multiple conflicting takes on this. Some people think like she was like forced out. The other interpretation is that by resigning as opposed to like not seeking re-election, it's like more of her spiting them and trying to fuck them over. Not that she necessarily like represents a swing district, but it does represent like one more thing they have to worry about, kind of.
That's true, yeah.
With an already slim majority. Like I really, as bad as things are for Republicans, I would be kind of shocked if they lost that district. But they do, things are at a point that they do have to like spend some money and some time on it.
Well, like, I mean, the thing is, like, Trump, like, he's gone incredibly hard at her. He's called her a traitor to the United States of America. And the only reason he's did this is because he apparently took seriously the Epstein file release.
Yeah.
Like, compare her to those fucking goons who showed up at the White House waving their binders about, like, the big intel drop that's going to, sort of, level all the accounts for all the deep state sickos. And they were like, to turn this, as you said many times, into a fucking ridiculous meme and political spectacle. But like, Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, no, can we have the actual files? And then I think it's very telling that Trump was just like, she's a disgrace, she's a loon, everybody hates her, and she's a traitor. And it was only over that and not anything else she said or did in power.
If I found out you guys were on the plane, I would be resigning from this podcast so quick.
What if I did it just to like get points on my
like
Chase
just Chris
Rewards
Tucker
card?
style? Like you think he was just like on the plane for a ride?
Don't ever touch a black man's sex slave. That's what I said on the plane. I said that to him, and he didn't think it was very funny.
All right,
was ejected.
Sorry, I remember I forgot the Marjorie Taylor Greene story, but this is back to the hate crime story. So it says here, a 26-year-old Ocean City woman who claims she was brutally assaulted because she worked for Representative Jeff Van Drew of Ocean City, New Jersey, instead orchestrated the entire incident, here's the part that I find really interesting. Paying a scarification artist to wound her and staging the scene with zip ties and Trump whore written on her stomach. And Van Drew is a racist on her back, federal prosecutors alleged today. Now, I want to bring this up because, Sarah, have you ever worked with a professional scarification artist for any of the gross stuff that you do into your comedy?
No, I got a tramp stamp like every other mentally ill Jewish girl. Get your nipples pierced, get a tramp stamp, go to Hot Topic. I do know people who do that though. And it is, she's like gonna have, like, it's gonna say Trump whore on her stomach that's like a tattoo, basically.
Yeah, it's like fucking Inglorious Bastards. They do the swastika. I mean, it's a scar.
I'm gonna scarification a swastika on me and say someone did a Jewish hate crime to me to make people watch my special.
I love that, like, the other one is Van Drew is a racist. Like, again, this idea that, like,
that should be a tell that this hate crime was, like, very specific. Because it's like Trump, everybody knows him. He's a very controversial figure. Several people have tried to kill him. But it's like, oh, yeah, Trump, whore. And then also, Jeff Van Drew is a racist. Where most people would just be like, people in Ocean City would be like, who?
Yeah. Like, she's suggesting there's, like, Ocean City, it's like a racially swapped Mississippi burning. Where, like, you go there and, like, a multiracial coalition of kidnappers are like, You better not be working for Jeff Van Drew.
Okay, so it says, Natalie Green, a Rutgers law student, allegedly concocted the hoax in July with an accomplice making a late night. Yeah, in July. This is back in July. With an accomplice making a late night 911 call to report that she had been ambushed by 3 men on a nature trail in Egg Harbor Township. Police officers.
Okay, that's it. That's the other thing. It's so premeditated that they know she's a Van Drew staffer, and they're like, do we want to like kill Jeff Van Drew himself? No. Who's his least important staffer? Let's hang out around the nature trail she likes for like 3 months, hoping that she comes here. Like, how is this not instantly found out? How did it take this long?
And how do we know it's not Jeff V. Andrew?
It says police officers found Green bound with black zip ties, her shirt pulled over her head, and the political slurs scrawled across her torso. She told police that her supposed attackers had a gun and threatened to shoot her and struck her in the head. Prosecutors say nearly every detail was fabricated. Green allegedly drove to Pennsylvania and paid a body modification artist $500 to carve the words on her face, neck, and upper body. $500? I mean, shit. I'll do it for $50. Oh, I got a fucking box cutter right now. All right.
When they say nearly every detail, do they mean like, well, she is a Trump whore? Like we've investigated it. And
Jeff Van Drew is pretty racist. I mean, that's objectively.
Y'all claim I want a BPD art hoe. You're scared of the real ones.
Yeah,
no one in Dime Square has done anything this daring and controversial as sort of a public art project.
So sorry, a bitch wants to Marina Abramovich down, and y'all hating.
I like this detail though. It says here, carve the wound. Paid $500 to carve the wounds on her face, neck, and upper body using a pattern she had provided in advance.
What?
Which is what, or her own handwriting? I don't get it. Investigators later found matching zip ties in her Maserati SUV. Cell phone records showed
Maserati?
Maserati SUV.
Well, like, I mean, this is. If you could not tell by
there's some context clues.
Rutger, like this is. I mean, this is just Jap hysterics excellence.
It says cell phone records showed that 2 days before the purported attack, her co-conspirator searched online for, quote, zip ties near me. Discovery authorities cited as further proof that the incident was staged. And like, folks, I'm not, this isn't crime 101 here, but like, whenever you watch those shows like, Forensic Files or The First 48, especially ones that take place now, because most Forensic Files are about murders that happened in like the early 90s or 80s or whatever. But the thing that stitches people up all the time is your internet searches.
Yeah.
If you're like, okay, if you're trying to like Google information on how to get away with a murder, I would suggest going to the public library to do that search.
Zip ties near me. Like, how to spell Jeff V. Andrew.
And also like Google in 2025 is you're not gonna get an answer on there. Like it's not helping you. This is like one of those SVU episodes where like Olivia immediately believes the victim, but like Finn is like, there's something up with this one.
Well, it's also like funny to think of like the Google AI assist for zip ties near me. It's like
they'd send you to get Ziploc bags. Am I right, folks? The AI is bad. It stinks.
Hey, the White House pool is looking like a cappuccino. Back in my day, coffee was just coffee.
So that's your spurious hate crime hoax. She was released on $200,000 unsecured bonds. Investigators used cell tower locations to obtain video footage and evidence that she went to a dollar store in Ventnor to purchase the zip ties. I mean, like, it's so hard to get away with any crime these days. It's like, it's almost impossible. If you have a cell phone or a computer, if you use it involved in any aspect of doing a crime, you're going to get caught. You're going to get done. So I would just, my advice here, walk the straight and narrow, obey all laws. Obey all laws at all times.
Why did she do it?
Well, obviously to promote her own career. I mean, I think she was thinking of like, I'm going to get on the Riley Gaines sort of. If you're a young conservative woman, the easiest path to just being given money to do nothing is to like attach yourself to some idiotic and hysterical controversy, like trans women doing a swim meet, or fucking this hate. I was hate crimed by I don't know, Joe Biden supporters.
They do like give you a medal if you're like a conservative who like gets beaten up.
Right.
yeah.
That like awful little
Antifa punch you in the face. I put my pants.
Yeah, Andy Go, like that's his entire like he's made millions of dollars from writing books called like How I Got Beat Up.
Someone brained him with like a drink, and he's been speaking with a British accent ever since because of his brain damage.
You know that like awful little fucker who worked for Doge who
the big balls.
Yeah, who's like connected to that 764 shit.
Yeah, like the circumstances of his attack was like very weird. It was like, I was simply in my car at 4 a.m. in like a drug spot in Washington, D.C., and these young men tried to assault me and steal my car.
They like dug up Spears from Band of Brothers. They dug up his body and like gave his medals to that kid because he got beat up so bad. It's like that's like if you're trying to advance in that world, like it is sort of the best thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Just be like become a victim in like a hilarious way. In a hilarious way that's like really like debasing for you to share publicly with the world.
Yeah, oh my God. How come no one has tried like, I got tarred and feathered. I work for who's a politician who's like as forgettable as Jeff Van Drew. It's actually kind of hard thinking of like a more forgettable congressman. I knew who he was, but it was just like, Jeff Van Drew is so polarizing. You can't go anywhere without people giving their opinion about fucking Jeff Van Drew. Yeah, if you say you were working for Jeff Van Drew, and you got tarred and feathered, well, just try him again. Just try it again.
You know, like
be like the guys who tarred and feathered me knew that like the police wouldn't believe me because that girl lied, but they really did do this to me.
y'all just can't handle a strong woman who puts her money where her fucking mouth is. She puts her pussy on the pavement, her body on the line. She is out in these streets doing Sherry Papini boots down ass work. No one wants to work anymore.
Well, least of all these fucking conservative influencers who like get on the fucking gravy train for the rest of their life because one bad thing happened to them that wasn't even that bad. The Antifa, they tied me to a log, and the log was going toward a giant buzzsaw.
And it's like Antifa, pussy. Call me when it's Uncle Fa, okay?
I think I was at Pablo Torre's podcast, an episode about Riley Gaines. And apparently she's getting paid she got paid $100,000 from the Heritage Foundation to like accept a medal on her own behalf for her bravery and protecting women and girls in sports.
That's like the type of event that like a remedial child comes up with. We're having a party where I'm getting a medal for the race I should have won. Like
we're against everyone gets a trophy culture.
The new every woman involved in like conservative politics under the age of 40, they're all like a little Janice Soprano now.
Very much. Very much.
They all have a Rolling Stones tongue breast tattoo. Oh.
And it says Trump whore underneath. Slippery when wet around Trump.
I kind of like Trump whore. Trump whore. Quiet, piggy.
Well, I think that does it for today's episode. Let's wrap things up here. But Sarah, you've got a new special coming out.
And to promote it, I'm gonna stage a shocking hate crime. So,
SNL
Well,
whore.
I mean, look up that body scarification artist. You know, I'm sure there's someone in the SNL props department who could hook
it's
you
only
up.
$500.
Yeah.
Colin Jost is a racist.
I'm gonna string myself up to the like Atlas shrugged or whatever statue.
Oh, yeah, the Rockefeller Center statue. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Crucify
say
yourself on it. Yeah.
Sarah, say that you got attacked by like Mad TV dead end.
By Will Sasso. Will Sasso target
Will
feather you.
Sasso attacked you.
I
Ari
get it, like,
Spears
so
and Will
wrong.
Sasso.
I get it wrong, and I'm just like naked, like for no reason. Everyone's confused. So yeah, I have an HBO special coming out December 12th. And listen, if you like this type of shit, maybe you'll like that type of shit.
I like the idea of Amelia Bedelia like a false flag hate crime so much. It's so fun. Like sending your own nudes to your boss, the congressman, and being like, they're doing revenge porn against me. And it's like from your number.
Writing like on like the wrong garage door in pig's blood.
Yeah.
Like Sarah is a Jew whore, and then the person just is like, "Who's Sarah?" and washes it off immediately.
It reminds me of one of my my favorite jokes that Michael Hudson told, which is like someone trying to like be epic on Twitter in like 2018, and they're like, guys, watch this, and they get retweeted by Charlie Kirk and then change their display name to "I am a pedophile." It's always made me laugh.
So the special HBO December 12th, what's it called?
It's called Sarah Squirm Live and in the Flesh. And if you really like the story of Felix shitting his pants all the way up, filling it from the ankles all the way up to his chest, it
wasn't no, it was just like a very, I don't want to get
no,
graphic.
you said you filled it up. That's what you said. With the podcast cut out for a second, and the listeners at home don't know this, but it stopped recording because of like, classic podcasting error glitch. And it cut out the part where Felix said it filled it up from the ankles all the way up to his nipples.
It was the opposite of a viscous consistency.